Welcome to this presentation masterclass. Presentations take a very important place in our lifestyles. Through presentations, we can share all of our ideas, our plans. We can add some animation and some pleasant looking designs in order to express our thoughts to others in a structured, organized, and beautiful way. In this video, I will share my biggest lessons that I learned during my life while making these presentations. Firstly, I want to mention that back in my high school years, my grades weren't that good according to my presentations. I was getting some sixths, some eighths sometimes, but I never got nines and tens. But when I joined this new university and when I took my time to look into the art of presenting, that's where I found a lot of tips and tricks, and my presentation levels increased. They skyrocketed. Right now, I'm known between my peers as someone that is very good with the animation side of presentations. I would like to begin by stating the basics of presentations. Presentations can be made on paper, they can be made verbally, they also can be made through apps. Personally, I like to use PowerPoint. Most of my professors and my teachers also require me to use PowerPoint. Now, the presentation is made out of two parts: of the information that we collect on that topic that we are presenting, and the animations. The animations, they can be present in multiple dimensions. One of them is us. It is important to have clean clothes, speak very, very clearly, loudly, be able to communicate at a high level, also do some gesturing, show some emotion. That's the real side of the animations, and then comes the other side, the animations in PowerPoint, for example, all of the design of your presentation. I want to mention to you that you have to work the most on your own communication skills, and the animation on the design of your presentation, that is secondary. And when you are working on those animations, you shouldn't spend more than 1 hour. The animations will gain you a little bit, but they will not be included in your grade most of the time. They can make your presentation more appealing. They can provide some extra strength to your words. So if the presentation that you are giving is important to you or is important to others, that's where it is your chance to spend a little bit more time on your animation. But if that presentation is just a little thing that you have to get over with, that's where you don't have to work a lot on these animations, and you shouldn't spend a lot of time on those at all. In fact, if you by yourself have good enough skills concerning the communicator dimension, and you found the valuable information, that's enough. That's enough for a perfect presentation, for the 10 out of 10. Looking at the side of the information, first of all, you have to give priority to your information that you get from your educational system or from the resources that other people have given to you. And then secondary, that's where you check the internet and its database for some extra information. That's where you can also use ChatGPT. I will make an entire video on that topic because I have a lot to say. But using ChatGPT can save you so much time and can improve your presentation by so much. And the third resource that you could use is your own self. But this source has to take the least place on your presentation because it's the weakest one. Now, so talking about the structure of the work towards that presentation. If you are working by yourself on a presentation, then you do everything. Then you have to be an expert in your topic, prepare everything. But if you're in a team with multiple people, that's where you have to choose a leader. That's where you have to figure out each other's strengths and weaknesses and make all of the presentation accordingly. It is also important to prepare your own parts. The parts of the presentation that you will present have to be made by yourself. At least the bullet points. The animations, these can be made by other people as well. Because these bullet points are the ones that will trigger your thought process. And if these bullet points will be new to you, you won't be able to express and elaborate on these ones as much as you should be able to. In team presentations, there are always people that know more and people that know less. If you are the one that knows more, don't be afraid to help the others. If you see an opportunity to speak over your peer, you should take it. And you should maybe elaborate on its thoughts or make it more comprehensible if that teammate didn't explain something properly or if he made a mistake. Then when you get questioned about a presentation, and if your teammate gets questioned and he doesn't know an answer, when formulating your own answer, you can try to incorporate some thoughts of your teammate and mention its name in your answer. That way, you will show to the others that your teammate has worked on all of this as well, and maybe he just didn't find that answer immediately. This is just basic teamwork. You have to hold each other's backs. Touching on the actual information of your presentation, it always should be very clear, concise, correct, and very short, at least in the slides. You, as the presenter, you are the one that will elaborate on the bullet points of your presentations. You are the one that should know all of the information and provide it in a very clear way through your voice. Some people don't know how long your presentation should be. Well, it has to cover the subject entirely. It also has to follow the guidelines that were given. And working way more than that, finding more information that you needed, can sometimes even bite you. Sometimes having too much information in your presentation might be negative for the entire image of your presentation. What you should do is to focus on the most important information. And all of the other information, of course, you can learn it, you can search for it and just have it in your head so that if any questions come up or if you see an opportunity to include it in your presentation, then you are welcome to take it. And lastly, I want to mention to you that you always should have a backup plan for your presentation. If you are For example, preparing a PowerPoint presentation, you should have an USB key with your presentation. You should always also have it on the internet, on Gmail, for example. Also, you should have multiple forms of that presentation. If you have a PowerPoint, you should also have a PDF or some kind of other style, because one of them might not work, and then what? So always have a backup. At the end of the day, the success of your presentation depends on yourself. It depends on how well you know the information, how much time you spent on this topic, how interested are you. I could make this video way longer, but I thought that there's no reason for that. This topic is not a topic that people want to listen to. Everyone just wants things quick and of quality, but that does not happen. If you want to have a very strong presentation, you have to spend time on it. Even with resources like ChatGPT that can basically generate the entire presentation for you, still have to understand the entire topic and learn some of it. This is December 2nd, and I'll see you tomorrow as well.